Off though with a news alert on this tanker fire on State Route 87 happening just outside the valley on the main road that heads up to Payson, right around Four Peaks Road. It was closed for hours, but is reopened a short time ago. We have team coverage on this. Let's start with Troy Baird, who's over the scene with Sky Fox. And whenever you hear tanker fire, Troy, you know things cannot be good.
Yeah, everybody gets a little nervous, that's for sure, when you start to talk about tankers and fires. And this is a small tanker truck here. Looks like it's an asphalt truck, maybe some slurry for making roads here. Looks like the fire started in the engine compartment. The driver was able to pull off to the side of the road, and it did spark a fire and a little bit of brush on the side of the road. Forest Service folks have been out here just making sure that there are no hot spots in the brush, and they've been putting some water on it right now. And right now, State Route 87 back open. You can see both directions back open. It was closed a little bit earlier. This is happening right at the turnoff. If you were going to go hiking up into the Four Peaks and take that trail up into the Four Peaks, this is that exact turnoff for you to go up there and hit those various trails and parking lots for the Four Peaks area.
Yeah, and if there's any, excuse me, good news, Troy, it looks like that fire was mostly contained to the front cab. Did it actually get back into the tank, you think?
It doesn't appear to be back into the tank itself. I was looking at the tank a little bit earlier. I don't see any placards on it, so it's possible that it might be empty. So that would be even better news for this scenario this morning.
Right, and the thing is, you know, it's that split roadway as well, so I'm sure that also helped in terms of the closure up there. We have Marcy on the ground. I don't know if you saw, we had her truck up in the screen just a short time ago, and she's going to join us in our next hour. She's getting more information on the ground there. So, Troy, thank you for that report on that. Serious accident involving a pedestrian has shut down 44th Street southbound. So 44th right now closed from Van Buren to Washington, and you can expect delays, and that's pretty much that main little stretch there for people in that area if you've just gotten off, say, the 202 to get to Sky Harbor Airport. And so you want to be aware of that closure. So it looks like they've got a BMW on the back of a flatbed truck there that they are using or taking away as part of this investigation. So again, a serious pedestrian accident. We don't have much more on this. We don't know exactly how this happened or if there was impairment involved, but we do know that 44th Street shut down there just north of Sky Harbor Airport. And not too far from that area, yet another wrong-way driver. Fortunately, that driver was stopped before they hurt or killed anybody. So we have video from ADOT cameras showing the troopers stopping that vehicle on the 143 right at Washington last night. We're told the Washington on-ramp was shut down for a short time, but this was not because of a DUI apparently. DPS is telling us the driver was elderly, confused and disoriented, and apparently got on the freeway going the wrong way. And again, really the headline here is that nobody was hit or killed by yet another wrong-way driver. Boy, we sure seem to have a lot of people getting on our highways going in the wrong direction. Valley Strip Mall surrounded by Phoenix police and federal agents. Shots were fired during an immigration investigation by ICE, the incident happening at a shopping center near 43rd Avenue in Thomas. So we got a statement from ICE, and they confirmed the suspects tried to ram their agents with this car. And that's when agents opened fire. The two suspects were taken to the hospital. Their conditions unknown at this time. No agents were hurt. Woman's body is found floating in a Gilbert lake in a quiet neighborhood here in Gilbert. Sky Fox was over this scene yesterday. This is Warner and Cooper, and you can see this is kind of one of those residential lakes where you have, you know, backyards leading right up to the water. The victim appears to be an elderly woman. At this time, it's not clear how or why she got in that lake or if foul play was involved. This is now just called a death investigation there in Gilbert. The attorney for a man arrested after being shot by police on Monday night says this whole thing was just a big misunderstanding. Police got a call that 77-year-old Robert Zummo pointed a gun at another man. When officers got there at the home near 20th Street in Orangewood, they say they couldn't get in touch with Zummo for about an hour, and when he did come out, officers say he pointed a gun at them. So two officers fired at him, and he ran back into his house. Zummo's attorney says he was just confused, thought he was being approached by somebody who was threatening him, and that's why he came out with his gun. Didn't know it was police out there. We're hearing from a firefighter who was shot at while responding to a car crash on Sunday night. Investigators say this woman, Annette Dennis, was in two different wrecks in Waddell near Olive and Perryville Road. And she's accused of then, after the wrecks, pointing a gun at somebody who tried to help her after those crashes. Deputies and firefighters responding to the scene, they say she then turned that gun and shot at them.
Like this, that's for sure. I didn't know exactly what was going on. All I knew is, the hair raised up on the back of my neck, and, you hear shots going on behind you. It's just kind of, you try to figure out how to get out of the way, how to shield yourself, how to shield my patient.
Investigators say she later tried to grab a deputy's gun from its holster. It was at the hospital. According to court documents, Dennis was under the influence of alcohol at the time, and now she's facing 13 very serious felony counts. Police have arrested a repairman on second-degree murder charges. This is Robert Moore. Police say he was doing some work at a home on Friday, got into an argument with the homeowner, 41-year-old Frank Pineda. Pineda then was shot and killed. Police say Moore called 911, has been cooperating with investigators, but again, that repairman arrested on second-degree murder charges after apparently a repair job goes wrong. So we're waiting to learn more on this. A secret recording of President Trump made by his former attorney is out this morning. That tape revealing a conversation between Michael Cohen and Donald Trump discussing a payment to Playboy playmate Karen McDougal. The attorney made the tape 2 months before the 2016 presidential election. McDougal said she had a one-year affair with the future president shortly after Melania had their son Barron. They discussed purchasing the rights to Karen McDougal's story from the National Enquirer's parent company. Cohen's attorney says that he plans on cooperating with authorities.
He's going to cooperate with the prosecutors. He's going to flip. He's going to try to get immunity, and he's going to testify against Donald Trump. Whether he has anything to say that's incriminating is a real question.
Well, President Trump's new attorney, Rudy Giuliani, says no payment was ever made to keep that woman's story quiet. Well, some disappointment for those who had hopes to visit a popular Grand Canyon campground. This morning, we're learning that Havasupai will be closed longer than expected. The National Park Service says the area expected to remain closed through the end of August now. Earlier, it was reported it would be closed just through July. People make reservations months in advance to go there and see the famous Havasu Falls. But you remember from this video, flash flooding slammed that area, forcing nearly 200 campers to evacuate. There's a lot of damage done to the campground area down there. So if your visit is affected, you can reschedule, they say. You are encouraged to call and find a different time for your trip. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of disappointed people who were planning on heading to this area. Traffic alert to tell you about this morning. A Phoenix intersection still shut down after a big water main break. Skyfox over the scene near 16th Street in Mojave as crews work to repair it. No customers lost water service, but 16th Street shut down in both directions from Mojave to I-17. Still unclear when this will reopen. 7:08, let's take a look at traffic now with Andrea on this Wednesday morning. Hey, Andrea.
All right. Hi, good morning. Traffic right now. It's a little busy out there. We've got a few accidents. Of course, we just showed you those Skyfox pictures, aerial view of the closure on 16th Street. That is still closed, likely to be closed for a while because of that water main break. Also, 44th Street in both directions, north and southbound, closed between Van Buren and Washington, and that is for a car pedestrian accident that happened early this morning. So 40th Street, still your best bet to get around it. And then this accident, this one's new. This is at 3rd Street and Thomas, right there in the central Phoenix area, just north of downtown. As we head outside, there's the 101 at Peoria. Both sides of that freeway, that stretch, look fine. As you continue northbound on the freeway, it starts to make that curve eastbound, and then that becomes the inbound traffic, and it is slow starting at 67th Avenue.
We talk so much about the opioid epidemic, and it's taking
rampant.
so many lives here in Arizona, and now a very well-known member of the entertainment community apparently having some major issues. Pop star Demi Lovato awake and responsive after an apparent drug overdose. Yeah,
the incident is getting a lot of attention this morning from Hollywood and her fans. Ron's in the newsroom with the very latest.
All right, so Demi Lovato, if you haven't been following it, she has had this struggle for years, and at least we can report that she is awake, conscious this morning in the hospital after suffering an apparent drug overdose yesterday. We are going to work to try to get additional details. There are some reports out there that it was a heroin overdose, but she's been struggling for years. This overdose yesterday, though, is really kind of a heart-wrenching twist because people have been following her journey from the day she was a Disney star to a pop icon and yet a troubled icon. The 25-year-old singer, Demi Lovato, suffering an apparent overdose late Tuesday morning. Now, the details are scarce, but here's the latest.
Demi, right here, please.
TMZ says that Lovato's aunt posted that Demi is awake and responsive. This comes after paramedics found Demi unconscious when they arrived at her Hollywood Hills home yesterday afternoon about 1:30. The pop singer was out Monday night celebrating a friend's birthday in West Hollywood and had posted happy pictures to her private Instagram. Ironically, she was to be featured Tuesday night on Fox's show Beat Shazam, but the network pulled the episode after Tuesday's news.
I'm so sorry, I'm not sober anymore.
Demi also recently released a single. It was called Sober, singing in the lyrics that she had relapsed and apologizing for it after 6 years of sobriety. At the taping of the Fox TV show The Four, judges Meghan Trainor and DJ Khaled both had her in their prayers.
I can't get Demi Lovato out of my head. I'm really heartbroken for her and her whole family and what she's going through, but hopefully she's under good care right now, and we're all praying for her.
I made a record with her, and she's a beautiful, beautiful soul, beautiful woman, a great friend, and I'm praying for her. I'm happy. I just heard that she's conscious, and she's, we don't know the full details, but I know God got her, and I know she got herself.
And it's a pretty tight-knit community when it comes to music superstars. I just wanted to share with you guys this. Take a look at what Lady Gaga tweeted. We should all wrap our arms of love around Demi. I'm so happy you're alive. Thank God. If I know my monsters as well as I believe I do, we all wish you self-compassion and inner peace. May you get the love so many have for you. So pretty touching.
Yeah, and her monsters that's what she calls her fans.
Yeah.
She's talking about monsters.
Yeah, well, so, I mean, now that this has happened, it really does feel like that whole song. You look through the lyrics of Sober, it really was sort of a self-confessional and even an apology.
Maybe
to
a cry
the people
for
who
help.
love her the most,
Yeah. Very well could
All right,
be.
Ron, thank you.
It's terrible.
Yeah, and she, she lived in like a sober living facility for months and months, right? Trying to kick this the first time. So as you can imagine, everybody's talking about this on social media this morning.
Yeah, reaction pouring in. Celeste has more on that. Good morning.
Good morning, you two. Good morning, everyone. We're talking about reaction, not just from celebrities, of course, like Ellen DeGeneres. They were very close, and she shared a lot on social media. Nick Jonas, obviously, as well, and a whole lot of other people. Let's go right to this, though. I want to share a couple of comments from all of you on some of this, because it's not just about what she's going through this morning. And, of course, yesterday, her family has asked now for a little bit of privacy. But I threw this up on Facebook to kind of get your thoughts on this, because they say all the information is not out there just yet. One person said, no judgment here. I hope she gets better. Many of you chimed in, so thank you for this. Another one. Addiction is a sad, ugly, bitter battle. It has no boundaries of who it consumes. Prayers not only for her, but anyone else fighting this battle. Prayers going out to her. Here's another one. It's a shame that people let drugs take over their life. Hopefully she will recover and get her life together. Pray that she gets the help she needs to quit using stuff like that. And here's the last one here. My thoughts and prayers go out to her. She is such a beautiful young woman. She is talented and kind. Her struggle has been very hard. And I like how she is open about it. Heroin will take your life one way or another. It's so very sad. I hope she is able to get on the road to recovery and maintain that as well. Be strong.
What's weird is when I was younger, heroin was that like the worst of the worst street drug, right? And you think, oh, heroin, this person's got to be this total loser, and what happened to them, and what's going on? And now you have the entry level, the Percocets, right? The pills and things that you get.
Right.
And they've become so difficult to get that you have quote unquote normal people or high achieving people who are turning to this former awful street drug. That you never know how powerful it is.
Right.
It's being mixed with that fentanyl now, which is like 50 times more powerful than heroin.
Rampant.
And one little shot into your arm or one little snort, however you're doing it, can, almost kill you. Look at this.
And we really, at this point, don't know what she was consuming or what was in her body. I mean, that's why the family said not all the details are out there, although authorities said they had to use Narcan, right, to to help her, to revive her, because she was unconscious when they arrived at her home there in the Hollywood Hills. So,
and Narcan's the only thing out there that will reverse an overdose with a drug like that.
absolutely.
opioids,
So
yeah.
more
With an
details to
opioid.
come on that,
Depress
of
your
course.
system so much that everything
Yeah.
just shuts down. All right, thank you, Celeste. Let's switch gears now. And another happy topic. Our
The heat.
115 today. You know, we got so close to breaking a record. If we're going to get 116 yesterday, we could, one little puff of wind would have broken a record. 117, I was sitting there waiting
I know
for it.
you wanted it. You were pulling for 117.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we got another another day under this excessive heat warning, and it's still in effect till tonight at 8 p.m. We're still calling for hot weather today. Tomorrow will be a tad bit better, but really no normal weather until Friday into Saturday. It will be a more normal day, but oh boy, it is hot.
Right. So what, buck 15 today? Is that what we're calling
114,
for?
yeah.
114. Okay.
Tomorrow 111, so slowly sliding on down.
So we always talk about when we have these kind of conditions, make sure you hydrate, try to stay out of the sun, try to stay inside as much as you can during the heat of the day. But there are a lot of people, maybe people you know, people your family, maybe you're getting ready to go out to work, where you can't get inside. You're working outside all day.
Well, Carmen has more from Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport on the workers there on the tarmac, what they do to try to stay cool in this
Carmen.
type of weather.
Hey, that's right. Good morning, guys. We're actually wanted to show you what it's like right out here on the tarmac today here at the airport. We got a couple of planes that are getting ready to take off, but as you can hear that loud noise in the background, that's actually some fans trying to cool off the tarmac. It's just the start of the morning, and it's already over 100 degrees out here. You can imagine just how hot it's going to get here. I have Brian here with me with the airport. Tell us, yesterday you had this cool little gadget that actually measures the temperature of how hot it gets out here. You know, just how uncomfortable these conditions can be for a lot of the workers out here on the tarmac.
Yeah, outside it can be about 115 degrees, but we have millions of square feet of concrete that radiate the heat, and yesterday was 176 degrees on the concrete. So we really have to monitor the heat exposure our employees are having out here.
That's right. How dangerous can it be for aircrafts taking off, for passengers boarding, employees? I mean, that as a whole, it's just got to be really dangerous whenever we have these excessive heat warnings.
Well, the aircraft have a challenge taking off in hot weather because the air is less dense, so they need more airspeed. Gateway Airport has 2-mile-long runways, so they have plenty of runway space to get that airspeed up and take off safely. Our concern is keeping the employees and the passengers cool, so the passengers have air conditioning, of course, on the plane and on the in the terminal. But the employees are encouraged to take frequent breaks, drink lots of cool water, no sugary drinks, and wear floppy hats and sunscreen.
Yeah, that's the key. Stay hydrated. You got the protective gear on. Really quickly before we wrap up, though, show me that gadget that you use. I think that this is just so cool, guys. Take a look at this. Brian's going to show us how we use it. Just flash it there at the camera, Brian. See, this is just the temperature right now out here on the tarmac. Already very, very close to 100 degrees, and it's just shortly after the 7 o'clock hour. So that just goes to show you how hot it's going to get out here later on throughout the rest of the day. Guys, back to you.
Oh, and then they turn the fan off.
Yeah,
You
right
notice
when
that?
she's done.
All right, Carmen, thanks. And like I said, they're not just lounging around out there. They're
No.
throwing bags. And
Yeah.
So a lot of respect to those men and women who
Gotta
work the
do it.
tarmacs. Not only there, but at Sky Harbor and Deer Valley. There's probably people working out there for sure.
Yep.
All right, coming up, sometimes all it takes is a little humanity and a few minutes of kindness to make somebody's day and maybe even make their future.
The selfless act a cop did to help a homeless man.
Heat is on. The heat is on. The heat is on. What's on the street? The heat is on.
Hi everyone, I'm Carrie Lake. And I'm Christina Carilla. Tonight we've got another full plate for Gordon Ramsay fans, starting with Master Chef at 7 o'clock.
And then at 9, watch dolphins work their magic on disabled valley children.
How both adults and kids can experience these potentially life-changing therapy sessions.
We hope to see you tonight for Fox 10 News at 9.